السلام عليكم متابعينا، كل عام وانتم بخير وعيدكم مبارك. معكم شركة الامتياز العالمي العقارية. راح نتكلم اليوم بخصوص العقارات في بريطانيا، شنو التأثير اللي صار من ناحية كورونا، شنو اتجاه السوق حاليا. راح ندخل معانا زميلنا وشريكنا في بريطانيا جيك كاتنمان. راح يتكلم عن الوضع الحالي في السوق حاليا في بريطانيا، وراح نطرح عليه أسئلة إن شاء الله. راح أحاول أترجم الكلام. طبعا أدري ممكن في ناس تفهم إنجليزي بس في ناس ما تفهم أو لغتها مو قوية، فراح أحاول أترجم كثر ما أقدر أنا وياه. راح ندخل جيك الحين معانا. هذا الحين بيدخل معانا جيك. Hi Jake.
Hey, Mishari, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good man, good man. How is everything your side?
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Good man, good man. I appreciate
Hopefully
you having me on.
everything will get in motion now. Everybody's trying to open up the
For
border.
sure.
They're trying to open up the ministries, also the trades. I know everything is on hold, but some countries are trying to move. So I briefed some of the viewers that entered already.
Okay.
What we're going to talk about, basically. We can say it again. I also would like to translate some of what you're saying.
Of course, no problem.
As much as I can. So.
No worries. Let me know if you need me to slow down at any point, because you know I speak very quickly.
Yeah, we're going to answer also some people's questions. Maybe if people somehow have some questions, we can answer those questions also. Yeah.
No problem at all.
I believe I sent you some of the questions. You've seen them.
Yes.
If we can start off with an overview of what's happening in UK in general, and then close it down to where you work mostly, which is northern England.
Sure.
So
for sure.
Start.
Yeah, no, I'm sure I appreciate you having me on. I mean, I was just following on from this morning's conversation. I was on a roundtable discussion with, it's about 25, 30 people, lawyers, as well as commercial agents, various different individuals across sectors within property. So in the UK, I think it's an interesting time. I think, of course, the government, of course, wants to get the UK market, property market, back to normal as quickly as possible. There's obviously a few changes that need to be done. But the UK market, I think it's not really hit the, I mean, in terms of, I believe prices will drop over the coming months, where investors will have some great opportunities to obviously buy assets, fund projects, as well as purchase. Whether or not that's right now, I don't know, because at the moment the UK, the economy is backed on this payment scheme for employees called furlough, which is essentially where the government are obviously covering wages for businesses and obviously employees across the UK. So in terms of deals in the market, I say, if you to be an investor, I mean, we speak to, as you know yourself, many investors who are looking for deals and looking for below market value. I don't think that's hit right this moment, but in the coming probably next quarter, back end of this year, probably August onwards, I think you're going to see some amazing opportunities. But it's just interesting to see. I think, obviously, of course, the retail and commercial sector with office space is going to be massively hit. I mean, where I'm from in Manchester, for example, 75 to 80% of people come into Manchester for work on the trains or the buses. Now, of course, at the moment, the trains, the government is saying, don't get on the trains. So in terms of office space, in terms of people in the city, the numbers are quite low. I believe the bigger the schemes, the more expensive stuff, in terms of the very expensive apartments in Manchester, for example, or maybe Birmingham. Across the UK, prices will probably have to adjust for that. But overall, I think in the property, we're trying to be as optimistic as we can. I think, of course, from an investor standpoint, me included, as well as yourself, and or obviously everyone that's watching this, they want to try and find the deal. And those deals will come. But I think for the UK market, I think there is some patience needed. But when the deals come, when the market obviously starts to open up to the investor market, they'll come in volumes. So it's going to be a case of lots of people looking to buy. And it's, I guess, an exciting time for us all in many ways.
Okay, so let me brief the people what you said. I know a lot of people don't speak English, so that's why I'm trying to brief them. يتكلم جيك عن الوضع العام اللي صاير في بريطانيا. تكلم عن ان الاقتصاد في سوق العقار ما طاح ذاك الزود، ما تأثر، ما حاش اي تأثير من ناحية التمويل، شغال من ناحية الاقتصاد بالتجاري لحد الآن ما تأثر ذاك الزود، بس تأثر اي نعم، هو الوحيد اللي عليه كلام. اما بخصوص السكني اللي هو ريزيدنشال سكن اللي يسكنون فيه الناس عامة في نورثن يعني شمال انجلترا وتحت، ما تأثر ذاك الزود. هو تكلم عن منطقة برمنغهام وتكلم عن مانشستر وتكلم عن لندن. يعني راح نسأله الحين أكثر من سؤال. إذا أحد عنده أسئلة يا ليت إنه يخليهم عقب الأسئلة العامة اللي أكثر الناس قاعد تسألها. راح نسأل جيك أول سؤال الحين. What the first question we would like to ask? How has your company dealt with the coronavirus in the market? Like, what have you been doing right now? How have you dealt with it? Let me translate the question, and then you can go ahead. أول سؤال سألته له، شنو أنت المواقف أو شنو العقبات اللي قاعد تواجهها حاليا في السوق البريطاني العقاري من ناحية شركتك وكصفة شخصية. If you can go ahead, Jake.
No problem. So in terms of my business, I think of course, I'm a businessman. We want to get deals done. We want to get transactions over the line. We want to work with investors and developers across the UK and obviously build some stuff as well. We've also got to understand that what's going on in the world. So in terms of business-wise, I think with my internal team is, including myself, and I'm speaking to clients, partners, whoever it may be, is that we're letting them know that we understand what situation we're in. We're not being too aggressive in terms of the conversations we're having. We, of course, are here to get deals done, but we are letting people know in many ways to say, look, we understand the market is where it's up to right now. We are focusing a lot of our time speaking with a lot of institutions from Southeast Asia, Middle East, and America, who can bring in a lot of funding solutions to the table. Because what you'll find is, Mishari, over the next, I guess, 6 to 12 months, is more developers than ever needing cash, needing equity, and of course, needing sales as well. So I think for us, it's business-wise, we've trying to educate as much as we can. So obviously everything's been done online, whether it's an Instagram Live, a Zoom webinar, whatever it is. So I think now's the time when you get doing business day to day, I think you think of these great ideas to educate, to do the podcast, to do the educational stuff. But sometimes in day-to-day business, when you're trying to do sales, it's difficult sometimes to do that. So internally,
you're shifting to technology, using more of technology.
Exactly, using technology for various different, whether that's the educational, whether that's to even demonstrate projects. So we are doing a lot of audio files where we do a webinar, and we obviously do a video for clients, for as well as for developers as well, because now we're still looking to find developers as well as identify even vendors. So we find a site that we want to build out.
I was on a call. To find them? Are you finding difficulties?
It's not difficult. I think in the UK at the moment, because everyone is still working from home. Everyone is open to Zoom. I mean, people that you wouldn't even think, I mean, the older generation, for example, developers or investors or landowners that I know who are trying to work deals with, 6 months ago, they wouldn't have even heard of what Zoom was or Instagram Live or anything like that. So yes, you're definitely right. We're using technology. And I think it's allowing people to become more efficient for the business. I guess it's made us realize that, do we have to be in the office every single day of the week? Maybe, maybe not. But we are still having great conversations. But we also are letting the market know that, yeah, we are here to help. But we're trying to transact as well. So it's finding that balance of making sure that people know we're not too aggressive in a way where it comes across as in a way where people see us all desperate. But we're also trying to add value, but also get some transactions done as well.
Okay. Let me translate what you said. جيك تكلم عن شركته وهو شنو المشاكل اللي قاعد يواجهها شخصيا. تكلم عن ان للحين ما في مشاكل حاليا، للحين قاعد يجونا مستثمرين من الخارج في شرق اسيا وفي الخليج وفي بريطانيا كذلك. وتكلم عن توجه شركته ل يعني سبل تكنولوجيا اكثر، نفس برنامج زوم، نفس انستغرام لايف، نفس اللي احنا قاعد نسويه الحين، السوشيال ميديا يعني اكثر شيء. حتى الناس الكبار قاموا يستخدمون هذيل الوسائل للبحث عن فرص استثماريه في بريطانيا، فرص عقاريه في بريطانيا. للحين في طلب في بريطانيا من ناحيه السوق نفسه، للحين في ناس راغبه انها تشتري، لان للحين هي مركز مالي كبير، وللحين مركز يعني جهه ناس تشوفها جهه سياحيه، جهه صحيه، جهه اقتصاديه. فللحين الرغبه موجوده في الاستثمار في بريطانيا، فما قاعد يواجه هو مشاكل حاليا من ناحيه انه يلاقي مستثمرين او يلاقي تمويل او يلاقي فرص حلوه انه هو يشتغل فيها. Let's move on to the next question. What are your thoughts on the UK market in regards of the coronavirus impact? Like, how much has it impacted, and which sector has it impacted mostly? I know you're going to say commercial, but I'm sure it did impact residential in some areas. In some areas were impacted, not all over UK. But let's focus mostly on England. We don't want to talk about Scotland and Wales. Too much to talk about. So let's just concentrate on England itself.
Well,
so you can answer that, please.
Of course. The UK has been, I guess, ever since coronavirus has come to the UK, it's been a difficult time. I mean, if we're talking outside of property and real estate, if you look at, I guess, the number of fatalities, unfortunately, the number of cases, the UK has been up there as to one of the highest, which is not a great thing to have a record of. Definitely, of course, in terms of a property, I guess, I think in terms of leisure is going to be massive in terms of, I guess, people having the freedom to go out and grab some food with someone or go to the gym, for example, which is what in the UK we value quite a lot. And those industries are going to be massively affected. I think even in restaurants, for example, like I said, there's going to be social distancing rules. So you're not going to be able to really go to a restaurant and have a good time because, well, in my personal opinion, I mean, if you're going to have to be wearing masks or the staff members are going to be wearing masks, and it's just not going to create that nice environment for you. Whereas normally you go for food with a friend or a partner or whatever it is to relax and to enjoy. But I don't think that situation's going to happen for a long time. And of course, many businesses, Mishari, and of course across the world, they rely on month end. So they rely monthly on bringing the money in. It's not a case of a lot of businesses have got money in the bank for 6 months. Many businesses, restaurants included, they have to earn money. If they're only going to be able to have 50% of the guests in the restaurant, they're not going to reopen. So you're going to see a lot of businesses that are probably going to readjust the strategy. Unfortunately, a lot of businesses are going to be going out of business,
This is the commercial section you're talking about now.
This is just the whole of the UK in terms of businesses. And I was going to lead on to residential. And the reason why I wanted to talk about that was because...
since we're still at the commercial part, how much do you think they're impacted by? How much do you think percentage-wise? Like if some people are interested, some of our viewers are interested in purchasing commercials that are opportunities, because if you go back 6 months or 10 months, they're worth millions, probably a lot of millions. But now there's a lot of people, like you said, you mentioned, making cuts. People are getting homeless. They don't have any calls. They don't have that walk-in, like you said, that interaction. Like the people that come to UK, either they're UK residents or travelers, they like to sit in the restaurants. They like to sit. They like to enjoy the views that the restaurant offers. So that, like you said, is a big impact, tourism-wise and commercial-wise.
Of course, and I think obviously
the restriction, I believe the restriction the government put that you have to sit for 2 weeks. and then another 2 weeks. So mostly people who are coming to UK as a tourism, they have to book like for a month maybe.
Well, it's crazy, and it's something which I mean, the UK, especially, you know more than anyone, Mishari, these next few months is when the UK gets a lot of tourists from all around the world. Like especially
summertime.
Exactly, like all major places in the world, whether it's America and Middle East, wherever it is, a lot of people come to the UK to find opportunities, but just to enjoy a holiday, and that is not going to happen this year. Fingers crossed, it's only this year and doesn't carry on for the future. But the UK is about to go through probably one of the deepest recessions we've ever faced, which of course means there's also opportunities in that. But to answer your question on commercial, I mean, I was speaking on this round table with a few partners from large law firms, and now they're having to put in contracts for the tenants to say that if there is a second wave of coronavirus, that the rent is freezed or they don't have to pay rent those months. So these
They're
are things.
adding those policies in the
Exactly.
Okay.
So as I guess a landlord and investor in commercial, are you going to maybe look at commercial if you know that if a coronavirus spike comes again and you can't get your rent? I mean, of course, it's an unfortunate situation, but also it's an unfortunate situation if you're a landlord and you can't pay your mortgage or you can't pay your finance.
Both parties are affected by it.
Exactly.
The owner, and he has mortgages, he has payments he has to make to the bank, and also the person who's renting or using this space.
Exactly. And the landlord, any landlord, of course, wants to work with great tenants, wants to make it as easy as possible of hands off for the tenant, of course.
Because maybe he wants to sell it.
Well, exactly. So he wants that. I think we always try and get a deal in line with a hands-off investment. But when you've got clauses in contracts now and you've got that risk of, well, making no money, and of course, when you work with international investors, of course, everyone maybe has different ways of getting the finance. It could be mortgages from different parts of the world. It could be the UK. Some banks and some institutions will still allow you to maybe have a rent freeze as well or a payment freeze, but some may not. So
that's true.
It's an interesting thing because you may get lucky. You may get in a position where your bank or your institution allows you to say, yeah, we understand the situation. Don't pay any payments for 3 months. But then you get some banks saying, look, you signed a contract. This is what it is. So it's going to be a tough time for the UK. It's going to be a really tough time. I think there's going to be a lot of great stories out of this coronavirus in terms of businesses that have become, I mean, that's what I've always tried to say to the team now is, let's just try and build as much momentum as we can for when things do get back to normal. And they will do. And someday, I don't know, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's going to be next week, next month, or in a few months. It could be, who knows at this moment in time. But I think it's becoming more efficient as a business. Those who do that and drive momentum will come out stronger, because in times like this and previous recessions and previous difficult financial times, some of the people have made more money than they've ever made in times like this. So it's identifying those opportunities, but also morally finding a balance of working with people that you can actually help, and you're not trying to do wrong in a bad way, but trying to allow them to, I guess, bring some cash in for them. If it's a business owner that needs cash and they've got to sell an asset, they've got to sell an asset. We want to make sure that the investors that we work with get a great deal, but we also want to make sure that the vendors are being financially secured in some way.
How much do you see the percentage-wise? How much do you see percentage-wise be affected in the next 2 quarters, the third and the fourth quarter?
Well, I mean, I use an example because I've just recently moved office into a new office in Manchester, and we actually came in at a lower figure, around 30% prior to. Now that's what I've offered on my office space, and it's been accepted. That's not to say that it's going to be across the board. There will be some dips, but I think the way the UK market, and I think all landlords and vendors are looking to see it as now, is they are trying to hold as much money as they can. So they're not, and that's why I said at the start of the Instagram live, it's in a few months.
All prices are having difficulties.
Exactly. It's going to be difficult understanding. I think in a few months, it'll be very, very clear that all landlords will have to drop the prices. But at the moment, what you've got is some do because they need it for whatever reason. And some are saying, look, this is going to go away next month. Why do I need to offer you 25% discount? So it's finding those right opportunities. But again, Mishari, some businesses, we look at a commercial, we're looking at retail, some of them won't even open because, like I said before, is if they've got to hit a certain amount of numbers or a certain amount of guests in the restaurant or whatever it may be, if they don't hit those numbers, they're just not going to bother opening because at the moment they'll be in a loss. So then again, it's a situation, how can that business survive and come out of this stronger?
So you think it's 30% for the commercial or the residential?
For commercial, I'd say between 15 and 30% in terms of, again, across the board. I'm not a guy to say it's this figure. That's in my scenario, what I'm talking about in terms of office space. You're going to see, I guess, a lot of people, because with office space in particular, Mishari, you're going to see a lot more people working from home.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is the demand for office space, good quality
office space. They don't need that office space, yeah.
Okay. Exactly. So offices or landlords who are trying to charge high rent, not to say that market in 18 months' time will come back around, but I think people are now realizing that, hey, I can work from home. I can work from wherever I want, really. Yeah, the first few weeks were difficult, but now it's not too bad. The kids were a bit annoying for the.
They're getting used to it.
Exactly. So that because that demand has dropped, well, people aren't going to pay the prices. And using my personal experience,
so
a lot of my team.
That part then. We can translate that part to the people.
Of course,
because I think a lot of people are leaving because they don't understand.
Yes.
So الحين جيت أتكلم عن الشق التجاري من ناحية التأثير من فيروس كورونا اللي أثر في السوق البريطاني. فمن ناحية التجاري توقعات الناس يعني لأن أول شيء بريطانيا هي جهة سياحية وهي نفس ما قلنا جهة تاريخية وهي جهة للصحة. فكل هالأماكن هذه الناس لما تروح خاصة المطاعم والأسواق والمجمعات الناس تروح تحب تقعد. يعني أنت رايح هناك مو عشان بس تشتري مثلا أكل من مطعم معين أو من مجمع معين أو من محل معين وبتطلع على طول، لا تقعد بتشوف. فالناس الحين هذيل الملاك عليهم طبعا اقساط، عليهم فوائد، عليهم التزامات، عندهم موظفين، عندهم كيت يعني التزامات كثيره كانت تغطيها. وانت الحين حاليا في يعني عز موسم السفر حق بريطانيا، يعني الناس في هالوقت هذا متروسه في بريطانيا. يعني لو اي واحد فيكم اللي قاعد يتابعونا يروح بريطانيا وايد، زين ابي شخص واحد يقول لي كم عدد الناس اللي موجودين في مثلا هايد بارك في هالوقت هذا. فل يعني عدد خيالي، يعني رقم يعني لا يحسب. فهالناحيه اثرت وايد، خاصه بالقرار اللي جاء الحين بعد ببريطانيا وطلع انه في حجر منزلي لك يا القادم اللي جاي من برا لبريطانيا لازم ملزم يقعد اسبوعين. فيعني اللي مضطر انه يسافر او يبي يروح يسافر منطقه يبي يروح يغير جو او حاب انه يغير جو، راح يلزم نفسه انه يقعد اسبوعين ولازم يحجز اقل شيء ابو شهر تذكره عشان يقدر يستانس بالاسبوعين الثانيين، ويمكن يرجع ديرته وهم ينحجر بعد اسبوعين. فقصه شويه للشخص اللي رايح بيغير جو، خاصه ان بريطانيا للحين يعني مو ذاك الزود منفتحين من ناحيه الطلعه والدخله، في اجراءات كثيره صارمه خاصه مع التباعد الاجتماعي والنصائح الصحيه. يعني المرض في بريطانيا وعدد الناس والحالات المسجله عندهم اكثر من عندنا احنا يا دول الخليج مع بعض. ف من ناحيه الشق التجاري في بريطانيا وايد ناس الحين قامت تلجأ الى العمل في البيت اللي work at home، يعني لازم تشتغل بالبيت وتعودوا على هالشيء هذا لانه صار لهم فتره الحين في الحجر. فقال ما له داعي انا اجر لي مكان كمكتب تجاري او اي شيء، خلاص اقدر اسوي شغلي في البيت او سوى له مكتب بالبيت او شاف له مكان ثاني ما يدفع رنت عليه ما يدفع عليه ايجار. فعشان كذي التوقع من ناحيه الشق التجاري في بريطانيا توقعات الناس انه راح ينزل الى تقريبا 15 الى 30%. هذا رقم قوي طبعا وراح يفتح فرص كثيره للناس المستثمره والناس اللي تبي تستثمر في بريطانيا. فالحين بنحول الى الشق السكني اللي هو الريزيدنشال، راح يتكلم عنه جيك الحين. If we can talk about the residential impact with coronavirus.
For sure. Residential, is going to be an interesting one because I don't think prices. I mean, I was speaking to I'm referencing from the roundtable that I was on, which was a national roundtable with some top lawyers and top, estate agencies who own 50, 60 branches across the UK. And they are still, in terms of prices, they're still getting prices, for example, offers, they're still getting a lot of normal offers at the asking prices. So the prices haven't dropped too much yet. What is going to drop and has probably started to drop is the rentals. The rental income that a landlord may receive is probably going to be a lot lower. Not a lot lower, but it's going to be, and that, of course, the rentals are going first, then the prices will go. But you've got a lot of big schemes in Manchester, for example, build-to-rent schemes, PRS, where they offer great amenity spaces, gyms, co-working spaces. Those are going to probably be in a bit of a difficult situation because the whole economy is going to be earning less money in many ways. So are people going to afford to pay top-end rent for an apartment? Probably not. Prices probably haven't dropped the way I probably hope them to do for investment reasons. And it's an interesting one because with banks as well as lenders, they are still open to lending, but they are very, very specific on what they want. So they're not just going to lend to, in terms of they will still lend to most people, but they're going to be they're going to scrutinise the pricing and they're going to scrutinise the area of where the property is, where the asset is. So I think in terms of residential, the prices haven't dropped too much yet. I think rental income, tenants-wise, is a lot of people aren't going to be able to afford rental, obviously rental payments. So that has had an effect straight away. But prices haven't dropped yet in terms of the way that we want it to do. And the reason why they haven't dropped is because the government is obviously allowing the UK to survive. It's not a case of people don't have money at this moment in time. It's going to be in a few months' time when people don't have the money. So I think prices have you're going to start to see some deals in the market, but I think it's going to be, like I said, back end of this year when you're going to start to see prices to really drop and opportunities to come.
How much do you think it will be impacted?
Well, we're still speaking to a lot of them.
Like we said about the commercial.
Yeah, so I reckon prices I don't believe it's going to be, some people have said 30, 40, 50%. I think those will be, if you're looking at a generic figure, it's not to say there won't be opportunities like that, but you're looking, again, between 15 and 30%, depending on the size of the scheme.
So the same number as the commercial?
I'd say so. As a generic figure, like I said, if you asked me in 6 months' time or in 4 months' time, I'd be able to say, yeah, we're in a bit of a tricky situation here. Prices are dropping. Vendors need cash. Developers need the sales in. So they're willing to let go. Right? Because what's going to happen, Mishari? Developers are going to go from making a profit to breaking even. And when that time comes, vendors aren't developing sales to go through at a discounted rate. Are they at that point right now? Maybe not. But yeah, 15 to 30% with maybe some further discounts on depending on the asset. But again, it's going to probably, a clear answer will be able to be available in the next few months.
Okay. نفس السؤال اللي سألته I will translate what you said. السؤال اللي سألنا شنو هو تأثير كورونا على السكني؟ شنو النسبة؟ ايش كثر متأثر؟ النسبة كما هو يتوقع ممكن تكون بحدود 15 إلى 30%. ليش؟ لأن السكني يختلف شوية عن التجاري. سكني الناس قاعد تسكن فيه، يعني الناس ما راح تضطر إنك تقعد برا، فقاعد يقدمون تنازلات الملاك اللي موجودين في بريطانيا، وكذلك قاعدين يحاولون يتحملون الضغط وقاعدين يسوون مثلا يعني إنه يدفع له نص إيجار أو يطوف له إيجار من هالكلام. فعشان كذي السكني نفس ما احنا نلاحظ دائما هذا في اي دوله يعني سواء كان بريطانيا او غيرها، سكني ما يتاثر. ليش؟ الناس ساكنه في البيت، الناس قاعد تستخدم العين المؤجره، يعني انت قاعد تستخدمها مو نفس المكتب او المحل او المجمع او الدور ان انت ما قاعد تستخدمه، فعندك حجه انك تتكلم مع المالك او تتكلم مع البنك او تتكلم مع الشخص الممول لك المشروع اللي انت فيه او السكن اللي انت فيه وتقول له انا ما قاعد استخدمه. سكن انت قاعد فيه، انت قاعد تستخدم العين المؤجره. فعشان كذي حتى في بريطانيا نفس الموضوع، ما في اي تاثير من ناحيه السكني. سكني مو متاثر ذاك الزود وممكن ما يتاثر. بس لحد الان الوضع بدري، ما نقدر نعطي يعني اي رقم معين من ناحيه كثر الهبوط راح يكون. Let's move on to the next question. What are the opportunities you see opening right now?
Opportunities wise, I think in terms of if I was
investors, let's talk about the international investors.
For sure. In terms of if I was to have my investor hat on, as we say, mindset, I think opportunities wise, and what you've, like I mentioned before, Mishari, is that a lot of, if we're talking what we're doing day to day into the new build projects, completed projects, there's going to be a lot of people needing cash. So in terms of clients buying, are they going to buy right now when the probably prices could drop? I don't know. But still, of course, there's opportunities. But I think where you're going to find a lot of opportunities is when investors can essentially lend money to developers, whether that's in an equity or a debt basis. There's going to be many opportunities for that, small and large projects. So it could be, and that's in terms of like a JV way. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities like that because developers are going to have a reduced amount of sales, so they need more cash. But opportunities wise, I think what I'm advising a lot of clients on is any scheme that's 2 years away, I'm not interested, just because of so many contractors in financial difficulty. And because we've not hit the bottom yet in terms of price reduction, in terms of just the economy going to where it probably will go, contractors aren't, too many of them aren't going out of business yet, but they probably will do. So anyone that's starting on site now, or you're looking to buy a project that is 2 years away, offers a great brochure, I'd be very aware of that, because...
So you advise them to hold right now, to hold, not to buy right now?
I wouldn't say hold, because I think if there's an opportunity there, there's an opportunity there. I mean, I think I'm still, as an personal investor myself, I'm still looking at opportunities. We are more cautious, of course, and that's because of the uncertainty that's had the months ahead. I certainly wouldn't be looking at 2-3 year build time, just because of...
So you advise them to buy something that's ready?
Close to completion, so something that either is
completion already, something off plan that's going to take 2-3 years, forget about it now. Yeah.
I'd say so, and that's as advising clients, and just because the way I mean, as a developer ourselves, when we build projects, when you are doing appraisal for a project, the prices that you have now will be completely different before the time you start on site, and I think that's the risk with contractors and builders and developers anyway, and that's why you see so many being delayed, or you see so many going out of business for that reason. With obviously COVID and coronavirus in the mix now, that's going to make it even more difficult for contractors, because I think the UK government want the property market to get back to normal, because
what is the government doing?
Well, they're trying,
helping, encouraging international investors
They are. The UK government want the property market to get back to normal, and the reason is because the UK property market generates a lot of taxes for the government. Now, of course, with the furlough scheme, which is the employee scheme, which is obviously allows people to survive in this tricky situation, that is going to cost the UK government a lot of money. And a great way to generate the cash to the government is, of course, through taxes, stamp duty, whatever it is. So there's various different things like that which the UK government wants to happen. I think in terms of what they're doing to support, I guess they're doing as much as they can do. I think they're very encouraging because they realise...
Lowered anything, added anything,
postponed
anything?
Well, it's a tricky situation. They are allowing, again, it all depends on where people borrow the money from. Some banks and some institutions, depending on how liquid they are as an institution or a bank, are saying, yeah, we understand the situation. But if you're a bank and you've got payments to be made, sometimes they just have to be made, and that's
the
unfortunate.
Government is not offering any hand in this.
They're offering more towards the employee side of things. So staff members can get this thing called furlough scheme, which allows for their wages to be paid. But at the moment, because the transactions are still happening, and the transactions that are happening in the market, a lot of them are people that want to move into a home themselves.
Is this in the case of the new ones or the current ones also?
The current ones, because the UK property market was put on hold for 2 months, no transactions happened. So for the next 2-3 months, as of about 2 weeks ago, those transactions now will go through to completion. So what a lot you'll see in the market at the moment is the government is helping those transactions that were held for them to go through, to make sure that they work with the banks to make sure they are still going ahead. Because there was a lot that got held. Surveyors couldn't go around,
Okay.
which obviously...
Can we translate this part?
Of course.
Then we'll move on to the next question.
Of course, no problem.
كان قاعد يتكلم عن نصائح. أنا شنو قلت له؟ انصح الناس اللي موجودة في خبرتك العقارية شنو يسوون الحين؟ إحنا يا المستثمرين الخارجيين وليس المحليين. طبعا نفس ما توقعت الإجابة إن أخذ شيء جاهز، لا تأخذ شيء للحين مو جاهز. يعني شيء مثل مشروع باقي عليه سنة سنتين ثلاثة، لا تشتري فيه هذا الحين، خله على جنب. حتى لو كان سعره حلو، حتى لو كان عائده حلو، خله على جنب حاليا، لان الاوضاع غير مستقره، الناس ما تدري، المستثمر ما يدري، المالك ما يدري، البنوك ما قاعد تساهل. فالافضل انك تاخذ شيء جاهز، خاصه لو عندك كاش. افضل لك انك تقدر تاخذ عرض حلو، سعر حلو، ممكن نضغط عليه من ناحيه ان اذا انت تبي تاخذ الشيء هذا حاليا. قلنا لا تشتري شيء قيد الانشاء اللي هو اوف بلان يسمونه، اخذ شيء جاهز ريدي تو موف. تكلمنا عن شنو الحكومه قاعد تقدم كتسهيلات للناس الخارجيه، المستثمرين الخارجيين، التجار اللي برا، الناس اللي كذلك للحين مستثمرين في بريطانيا. فهذيلي ما لهم اي تسهيلات، ما في اي تغيير عليهم، ما في اي تعديل. عندك انك ملتزم في عقد معاهم تدفعه والمده اللي انت ملتزم فيها. اما كذلك هم نفس الشيء حق اللي جاي من برا. بس طبعا اللي جاي من برا الحين جديد، يعني مثلا انا مستثمر جديد ابي اخذ تمويل من جهه من احد البنوك في بريطانيا، تسهيلات ما صارت نفس قبل، يبون ضمانات اكثر. الفائده نفسها هي ما زادت يعني، بس انه يبون ضمانات اكثر، ما صار نفس اي قبل. اي مشروع انت ببالك يشوفونه يدرسونه على السريع ويقيمون او they assessed الريسك ماله، فعلى طول صار شوي صعب الموضوع ان انت تدش في الموضوع تاخذ تمويل سهل حق اي عقار انت تبي. Let's talk about what projects you have in mind, you're working on currently. You advise people to invest with you. What do you have in mind?
For sure. Well, like I mentioned with residential, I think there's going to be two key, I guess, strategies that I'm going to be advising clients on. And that is going to be buying stock which is close to completion, in terms of maybe you have a developer that hasn't sold any units, who is now in a position where they just want to exit the scheme. So whether that's a bulk deal or individual sales. So stuff that's going to be close to completion where I know there's going to be less risk for obviously the investor. But we're going to be speaking to a lot of developers who are going to be needing funding as well. In terms of projects, that's going to be across Manchester, London, surrounding towns and cities such as Reading, and places like that, Wimbledon. We've got opportunities small and large. So we've got projects from 25 units all the way up to 500-600 units. Now, we're not going to be doing the sales on 500-600 units. We're going to probably bring in an institution, a real estate fund, or people who have the ability to fund those projects. Those are what probably we're going to look at.
So your advice is mainly to flip.
To flip, yeah, to find projects which gives the opportunity.
Don't look for the rental yield, right?
Exactly. Ones that we know, I guess, allow us to gain obviously a capital appreciation. Ones that we feel we're getting a good deal for. And of course, you know more than anyone, Mishari. I think a few years ago it was about the best guaranteed yields, the best furniture packs, the best whatever it would be. But now it's a case of, is it going to get built? And I think for me is when I'm advising clients and working with great partners like yourself, it's making sure that I'm doing my due diligence for clients. And I think the reason why I'm working on Manchester, Birmingham, London, and of course we'd look at places like Liverpool and Leeds, but my knowledge in terms of where those markets are going is not the strongest. So Manchester, Birmingham, London is where we focus on. I think when you've got so much activity going on in regeneration, I think the regen programs in Manchester, Birmingham are still happening. HS2 is still happening. Big schemes in Manchester are still happening, and London will always be London, as we know. So in terms of strategy wise, it's going to be advising clients on schemes which are close to completion, ones that we feel we're still getting a fair deal for. Because what you'll find is a lot of developers in the UK sometimes, Mishari, is that they'll try and increase the prices as much as they can. And that's, of course, to increase the profit, which, having been a developer and still are developing, we, of course, want to make as much money as we can, whether you're an investor, developer. And, of course, I'm a big believer in everyone has got to make money to make the deal happen. But you're going to see a lot of developers now that are trying to sell at this price are going to have to sell at this price. They're going to have to be a lot more realistic of what they're selling for. And again, it's identifying those opportunities. Thankfully, as with my business, we've got some great opportunities which allow us to obviously start speaking to clients. But it's also making sure that, again, like I mentioned earlier, we're not being too aggressive with people, because especially with investors, if as an investor myself, I can't necessarily push someone into a deal if I know that prices are going to drop, because that doesn't look good at me. And I don't feel comfortable. And I've always got to see it as an investor mindset, because if I wouldn't buy it, why would I sell it to someone? It's not to say I buy every project I'm involved in, but those are the kind of projects I look at. But like you said, I think there's also going to be, rather than spending 200K on an apartment, for example, that's maybe risky with the long completion time, you may be able to find development opportunities which, like you said, it's flip. You put your money in, 6 months later, you get your money back out. And you have security of the asset because you've got the first charge in it. But I think you're going to see a lot of opportunities now. And developers are going to have to, and investors are going to have to be quite, I guess, look at different opportunities as well. Not just to buy an apartment, getting a 10% yield, or 8% yield, whatever it may be. It's looking at how can they make money in this situation, and not just risking it all just for the sake of getting a good yield, if that makes sense.
اوكي شوف الحين الكلام اللي قاله جيك راح نترجمه. اللي قال من ناحيه يعني هو نصائح حاليا انك تشتغل على الفليبينج. نفس ما قلنا احنا، هذه طريقه معروفه في العقار، خاصه في المستثمرين، سواء كنت في الكويت او السعوديه او اي مكان في العالم. هذه التكنيك موجود من زمان، انك انت تاخذ شيء قديم كسر شوي، بس ان المنطقه مرغوبه وسعر المنطقه مرغوب فيه، نفس مانشستر، نفس برمنغهام، نفس لندن. هذيل المدن مرغوبه جدا ومطلوبه جدا. والكابيتال ابريشيشن اللي هو يعني نسبه التضخم في المدينه، هذه اللي انت تطالعها حاليا. لا تطالع فائده الايجار كم يجيب. يعني قبل كنا نطالع نسبه الايجار كم، رنتل ييلد كم يجيب وخلاص، وتشتري شقه وخلاص، هذا كاستثمار، انت كذي استثمرت. اوكي، بس الحين تخير الوضع. انت الحين لو انت تبي تدش، لا تدور من ناحيه كم فايده ان انت تروح تشتري من مشروع للحين قاعد ينبني، باقي له سنه سنتين والحين ما خلص. هذا خلاص قلنا وخر الفكره هذه عن نفسك. الحين فكر في شيء جاهز او شيء شويه قديم، يحتاج له شويه ترميم، شويه تعديل، وتقدر بعدين تبيعه بسعر منطقي جدا، انك انت تربح اقل شيء من 20 الى 30% من ناحيه كبروفيت سريع على طول جدا بخلال 6 اشهر. اعتقد هذا الشيء يعني موجود كان من قبل، بس الناس مو واعيه فيه. الناس تحب تشتري شيء من مشروع شركه شاريته، هي اللي متخصصه فيه، هي اللي بانيته، هي تعطي الضمانات. اما اذا انت الحين تبدش مثلا مع جيك في او معانا احنا حاليا، هذا التكنيك اللي احنا قاعد نستخدمه، الدش من ناحيه ان انت تقولب، يسمونها مقولب، انك انت تاخذ شيء قديم هدام ارض او هدام، تبني تعدله ترممه وتبيعه على طول. مده ليش احنا قاعد نقول 6 شهور؟ لان انت تقريبا عشان انت تاخذ شيء هدام وتعدله وتضبطه يبي لك من 4 الى 5 شهور على طول. تقطه بالسوق خلال شهر انت تبيعه بسعر منطقي. طبعا انا ما قاعد اتكلم من قلت انت تربح بحدود 20 الى 30%، هذا حد اقصى. اذا جاب اكثر حلو على حلو. بس هذا التكنيك اللي صاير الحين من ناحيه بريطانيا ومن ناحيه السوق. تكلمنا بشكل عام مع جيك. We want to thank you, Jake, for your time.
No problem at all.
Hopefully, if we have some questions, we can direct them to you directly. People who are interested in flipping and using the opportunities that you have in Manchester or Birmingham or London. As you said, London will always be London. UK will always be UK. People will still want, who are interested in buying you in UK before, are still interested in buying it now. Maybe now they have an opportunity to buy prices way lower, not 50%, let's say, but lower than they were before. So I hope we answered a lot of questions for people. We will put this video also on our page, so anybody who wants to see it he can write down the question or maybe call us and we can direct them to you. I want to thank you again for your time.
No problem. Anytime.
We'll see you later.
Take care and have a great day, guys, and appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Cheers, Mishari. Take care.
Take care. نفس ما قلنا زبايننا وعملائنا، ختمنا الكلام مع جيك من ناحية الاستثمار في بريطانيا. قد تكلمنا عن التأثير عن كورونا، شنو صاير، شنو المشاكل اللي كان يواجهها هو والبنوك. طبعا تسهيلات، ما في تسهيلات من ناحية البنوك صايرة أشد أكثر من قبل. نسبة التوقع الهبوط للتجاري والسكني تقريبا بحدود 15 إلى 30%. هذه نسبة مو بسيطة، خاصة من الشق التجاري. الشق التجاري وايد ناس تأثرت في بريطانيا، وايد ناس صار ما عندها وظائف، وايد بزنسز، وايد شركات معروفة عالميا سكرت. فاللي للحين براسه وهدفه انه يستثمر في بريطانيا، الفرصة للحين موجودة. الفرصة عمرها ما راحت، بس الحين الفرصة صارت أسهل لك يا راعي الكاش. يعني اللي عنده الكاش ما يحتاج ياخذ تمويل من بنك. أنا ما قاعد أقول لك لا تاخذ من بنك، تقدر تاخذ من بنك للحين، تمويلات للحين موجودة، بس مو أسهل نفس قبل. فراعي الكاش الحين يقدر يستثمر بقوة وبسرعة خلال 6 شهور 8 شهور حتى أقصى، إنزين، وهو مدخل بروفيت من حدود إلى 20 إلى 30%. هذه بتكنيك الفليبينج. نقدر ناخذ أرض أو ناخذ بيت هدام ونرمم لكم إياه ونبيعه. إحنا عندنا الدراسة موجودة لهذه البيوت. جيك شريكنا فيه حاليا في مانشستر يشتغل، مركز على مانشستر، نورثern إنجلترا، يعني شمال إنجلترا هي الجهة، وكذلك الناس كلها اللي يتابعونا على حسابنا يشوف تركيزنا أكثر شيء صاير في شمال إنجلترا. لندن للحين راح تبقى لندن. وأي استفسار عندكم من ناحية الفرص اللي موجودة، شنو المتاح، شنو الأسئلة اللي تحبون نجاوب عليها اللي تكلمنا عليها في اللقاء هذا، تقدرون تكتبونها عندنا في الكومنت. راح نحط هذا الفيديو على البوست عندنا. ويعطيكم العافية وكل عام وانتم بخير، وإن شاء الله دمتم سالمين.